Hey coders, welcome to the channel, and I think you all have played the popular game Akinator and enjoyed playing that. So in today's video we are going to make a copy of that Akinator game in Python. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. Let me tell you first that there is not any magic in this program, and it uses facts answered by the user to guess the character that the user might be thinking. So now let's see that how our Akinator app will work. So the most important thing in our Akinator program will be a database. So this will be our database, and this database will contain the information about characters, their names and their properties. So what our program will do? It will ask a predefined question from the user, and that question will be in form of yes or no. So let's assume that the user has answered yes for this particular question. We don't know the question. So what our program will do? So based on this question and this user's answer, it will filter out some characters from this database. So it will filter out some characters from this database based on the question and the answer by the user. And now what it will do, it will again ask a question from the user, which will again be in the form of yes and no. And now let's say that this time the user answered no. So what this will do, so this will again filter the characters that which are already filtered by this question, and it will filter them based on the second question asked and the answer given by the user. And now what this program will do, it will again ask a question, and this question will also be in the form of yes and no. And let's say the user has answered yes. So again, based on this information, the question and the answer by the user, this program will filter out the characters from this database, and our program will continue this question and filtering until there is only one character left in our database, and in this case only one character is left in our database. So in the case that there is only one character left, so what our program will do, it will stop asking the questions and it will tell that your character is, and it will fetch the name from this character's properties and it will write the name here. So in this way our Akinator app will work. To keep things simple, the Akinator game that I am going to make in today's video will be a small scale model of the original Akinator game, but you can make your game with any complexity as you want. So now let's code our Akinator app. So first we will define a database. So let's say database, and this database will be a list of the characters, and this list will store dictionaries. So if you don't know what is a dictionary, so a dictionary is a storage system in Python which uses a key and value pair to store information. So this dictionary will have properties of those characters. So let's say first property will be name, and let's say I want to define Iron Man, and the next property of this character will be human in strings. Human means is this character a human or not, and it will be true. And these properties except this name, all the properties except the name will be in the form of true and false. So this will be true, and the next property will be YouTuber. So is the character YouTuber, and the answer will be false for Iron Man. And the next property will be movie, means is a character in a movie, and the answer will be true. And this is movie, and the next property will be original, means is our character original, and the answer for this is true or not true, it's false. And the next property will be invent, also in small, inventor, and for this the answer for Iron Man will be true, and one more property will be Indian. So is our character Indian? And the answer is false. So we have this much properties in one of our character, and we have these properties in our each character. So let me define the characters also. So I have already defined my database, and let me copy paste that here. So this is our database. We have Iron Man, we have Einstein, we have Kariminati, we have PewDiePie, we have Nemo, we have Naren Modi, and then Mukesh Ambani. So we have these 7 characters in our database. So now let's get ahead making our program. So after that, what we will do? We will ask the questions from the user. So let's store the answer in variable a and s. Zoom it a bit. Answer equals input, and then we will ask a question. So first we will ask the question based on the properties. So the first property of the character is our character human? So we will say is your your character human? The user will have to answer this in form of yes and no. So y for yes and n for no. So in this way user will answer our questions. So now after that we have asked each question, we have to do a lot of work. So instead of writing that code again and again after every question, what we can do, we can define a method. So let's name that method def, and let's name that method take chance. And what this method will take as an argument, this method will take as an argument the answer comma the property for which we have asked the question for. So this much are the properties that our this method will take. And now inside that method what we will do, we will add a statement if ans wer equal y. As we are taking the answer in form of y and n, so we will have to convert that in true and false. So ans will be true, and else ans will be false. And now what we will have to do, we will iterate over our database. So let's add a statement for d in database. So what we will do, we will see that if the answer by the user is not matching with any of the character in our database, then what we will do, we will remove that character from our database. So let's code that. If d property, since we have to provide property and it's human, so we will have to check if database is human equal our ans, which is true and false, and instead of this equal I will say not equal. Then in that case what we will do, let me add one more variable, and that variable will be to remove, and this will also be a list, and you will understand that what this list is for. And what we will do, we will append this database or character to this to remove list. So append d. So what this means, if any of the character is not matching with the answer of the user, then this will remove that database, not remove, this will append that database or character to this to remove list. And after every character has been iterated and has been added to remove list, if it is not matching, then what we will do, we will iterate over this to remove list. So we will say for I in to remove, and what we will do, d dot not d dot database dot remove I. So what this as whole is doing is doing that if any of the character is not matching with the answer that the user has entered, then what this will do, this will remove that character from this database. And now let's get ahead, and after continuing this again and again, we will check that if the length of the database is equals to 1, means if only one character is matching with the answers of the user, so in that case we will print the name of that character. So we'll print your character is add a space here plus database at the index 0, and we will add one more index name. So this database at index 0 at index name will fetch the name of this character, of that character. So this will print your character is whatever the character will be. And after that we have printed the character, what we will do, we will quit out of the code, means we will not ask any questions anymore. So we will quit, and here after asking every question we will have to call this take chance method. So let's call this method take chance, and here we will have to first provide this a and s which we have take the input from the user, and after that we will have to provide the property for which we are asking the question. So here we are asking the question for what happened, here we are asking the question for human, so we will provide human here, and it is necessary that this exactly should overlap this spelling or string. So in that case this only works, otherwise it would give an error. So our code is complete, and now let's ask more questions from the user. So I have already made my questions, and you can ask any questions based on the properties. Let me add more questions. So these are my questions. As the first question was, is your character human? And the second question is your character YouTuber? And we are passing YouTuber in this properties. So in this way this works. And then is your character in a movie? And then we are passing movie property. And is your character original? Then we are passing original property. And in this way this. So our program is complete. So now let's run our code, and it is asking me is your character human. So let's try for Einstein. So yes. And is your character YouTuber? No. Is your character in a movie? No. Is your character original? Yes. Is your character inventor? Yes. Is your character Indian? No. So this says your character is Einstein. So boom, our code is working. And now let's try for another character. So let's run this again, and it is asking that is your character a human, and we have only one character that is not human, and that is Nemo. So when we will say no here, this quickly prints your character is Nemo and will not ask any more questions. So this will need only that much information that is necessary to guess the character. So in this way our Akinator app will work. So this is the code for our Akinator app. So in the next video we will see that how can we make this Akinator app in Java. So to get notified for that video, subscribe to the channel, and if you enjoyed today's video then don't forget to like the video, and thank you for watching the video.